Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I promised it's second video of the day and this time to speak about the press conference Massimiliano Allegri before the big game of tomorrow, Juventus-Napoli, that I can already tell you, if it was not already a hot game, it's even hotter after the words of De Laurentiis. After the press conference I want to speak about De Laurentiis, but I also want to speak about the invitation of Khelaifi to go back as Juventus as a club to the European Club Association ECA that you saw and that you probably already read, but it's hot news from the last few minutes, hours, and we already have the answer from Juve. So what did they say? And then of course I want to go through Paul Pogba 4 years of ban about football, about his career. You know what, instead of going first to the press conference, let's start speaking about Paul Pogba, because it's important one, otherwise you will have probably a lot of questions. I want to clarify as much as possible. If you didn't yet, before we speak about all these topics, please, maximum of like, don't forget to subscribe, and I really want to say thank you to all the people that this morning, when I was asking for an extra push to reach the 27,900, well, we did it, so thank you to all of you. We start with Paul Pogba, 4 years. What does that mean? Does it mean that from tomorrow he can't play any more football for the 4 coming years? No, that's not the point. But the anti-doping prosecution, so the accusation, asked for 4 years of ban. From now on, Paul Pogba will have the right to defend himself in court. What is the date? We don't know. At the moment, it's unknown. There are some leaks that are speaking, like the sources Sky Sport, that are saying that apparently they were in negotiation. They tried to find a kind of plea deal. You know it, doing a plea deal before the final judgment will kind of nearly halve your punishment. Well, apparently they didn't find an agreement. We have absolutely no idea about the reason why, so that's something that we will maybe know later. But the point today is that in an unknown date, soon probably, in 2024, beginning of 2024, Paul Pogba will go to the court and he will try to defend himself. What will he say? What will be his defense? I don't know. Will it be less than 4 years? It's a possibility, but at least the request is 4 years. What about Juve? What can they do? Well, at the moment, nothing. Nothing, just waiting for the official last verdict that will come probably in 2024 in the beginning, and from there on Juventus will act. Why did I speak about that and I started with Paul Pogba? Because a lot of people will go crazy with mamma mia, it's 4 years, fire him. No, you can't just dismiss a player without the real punishment. So first legally, and then you can take actions. But also because Max Allegri spoke about it in press conference today. It was at 2 p.m. Italian time, but quite easy. What about Pogba? What about the last news that just came? 4 years. He said, at the moment, I can't answer these questions. I don't want to answer these questions. If I heard him in the beginning stage. We also messaged, but we will meet again from the moment that it will be finalized and that we will have a verdict. So it's actually quite clear in what he's saying. So Paul Pogba, it's a topic that now we can tackle and we just wait for information. What about the game of tomorrow? Juve-Napoli. Well, Max Allegri, how did I see Max today? I saw him extremely serious. I told you that this year there is no space, there is no room for jokes, for blah 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 blah. No, it's serious. He has an objective and he wants to go for it. But I saw him even more serious. I think that the voices, the rumors from the outside that they are pushing Juve like you are the only anti-Inter, because you know it's a beautiful story to tell for media. Well, it's a bit annoying him because he knows what his team is capable of. He knows what are our limits. Today he didn't speak about it, but in all the other press conferences he spoke always about we know what are our weaknesses and we have to work on them. That's so that they become our strengths. Well, today he didn't mention it, but he really knows the limits of the team. He knows that it's important with the group of players that we have to keep feet on the ground. And I think he knows that Napoli wants to come to the game of the year, the comeback of Napoli, the launch again of Napoli with Mazzarri. So he's really cautious about that game of tomorrow. He said that it's a head-to-head, and in the month of December we'll have 2 heads-to-heads, the one of Napoli. Then we have Roma, also, both games at home, not consecutively, but in December. And we have 3 games away, Genoa, and then I don't remember, until the end of the first round of games. You know it, we are playing 19 games there. And he said, you know what we will do? We'll put a new objective until the end of that first round. What is our new objective? Our priority objective momentarily, Why? Because an objective can be adapted. He said that we have to make more points than we did last year in the first round. Last year we had 38 points. We have at the moment 33 with 5 games to go. We need to do more. He didn't say we have to do 39 or 40. We have to do more. That's the first objective, because if we do more, that means that we did better, but also that our ranking is better. What is he doing psychologically? If we're thinking about management, he's actually giving the team micro objectives that are easier to achieve. I give you an example. If you say to someone, Beppe, you have to climb the mountain Everest. Mamma mia, it's huge, it's big, I will never make it. Never in my life. But if you tell me, Beppe, step by step, we will start first to the first level of the Everest mountain. That's our objective. Then we see. Then we can come back, or I will say, okay, that's something more reasonable. If I'm already there, I'm thinking about level 2, then level 3, then level... That's what the technique that Max Allegri is using. Is it smart? Well, when you have an experienced team, when you have already a lot of teams that are mature, that are already won and so on, go. That's the objective. We go, and we don't care about the middle step. With a young team where he knows that we can be fragile. At the moment, no. But that's why he's using balance. We have to be in balance. In balance. Sometimes there will be negative moments, sometimes there will be positive moments. When it's positive, don't go and dream and fly too high. When it's negative, when we draw a game, when we lose a game, don't see it as if your life depends on it. Okay, we take it into context about that mini objective. So he's using that kind of way, and I really wanted to split it and to explain it. What else did he say? He spoke about the people from the GA Medical, said everyone is back, of course. Not De Sciglio, he didn't even mention him. But everyone is back except of Timothy WEAH. So he's confirming that WEAH, as we were fearing already in the first video this morning, will not be there tomorrow. On the other side, he said that everyone else is there. Danilo and Alex Sandro, he needs to understand who will start tomorrow, because Alex Sandro started again after a long time without playing. Danilo didn't play a full game yet. He entered last time as a regista, but he didn't play a full game yet. So he said one of them, or Alex Sandro or Danilo, will start the game, and probably I will share minutes between them. So probably we already know one sub, Alexandro out for Danilo or Danilo out for Alexandro. One of both. I don't know. I think that Danilo will win that contest, but I can't guarantee you. Will Danilo play as a regista? No, that was also already given by Max Allegri, that said no, he will not play there. If he plays in defense. What else did he said? Well, he reminded that Napoli tomorrow is a difficult game, and that's also another micro objective, because in the last 7 times that we played Napoli, we only won once. And that's something that he said we have to change, that we really have to change it. So he really wants to go towards a win tomorrow, not dreaming too much, but that's the first objective. What about Gatti? Also for him, he did incredibly well. He spoke well about Gatti. Let's not forget that 3 years ago he was playing, with nearly amateur league. Look where he's there. He's doing fantastically well. But now the most difficult part of his career is coming. What is the most difficult part? That means confirming himself at high level. Can we see tomorrow? I'm just going crazy, yeah? Bremer. Bremer, Danilo and Rugani to start. With Gatti maybe the next time. With Alexandro that can enter. I don't know, but Rugani, I would not clear him out, even if in the beginning of the week he was a bit sick. I don't know how well he recuperated. I know from the papers that he did, but is he at 100% or not? I don't know, but expect something in defense that you could say, I didn't expect that one. What about Cambiaso? He said it's an intelligent player. I'm sure that Max Allegri watched probably the YouTube and Twitch live on Juventus, because Cambiaso at a certain moment spoke well about Allegri. That's why he said he's an intelligent player. No, jokes aside, he said left or right is the same. Actually not. On the right side, he says he's covering even better the field. And he also can help us in build-up. You see the difference? The difference is in the beginning of the season when he spoke about Cambiaso, he was also asking him to attack more, to score more, but also to pay attention in the back. Today he didn't even mention it. He said on the right side, he's helping the team in build-up. So he knows that we are missing that number 10, that link, that creativity, and that solutions has to come from somewhere where Timo WEAH is not available. Probably McKennie is taking care a lot about helping the midfield and the defense. Well, Cambiaso has the opportunity, the ability to also build up from the right side. Why? Because that's the great skill of Cambiaso. He can enter. A bit less difficult sometimes when left or right foot, but he can do it. So that's a good one. What else? They spoke about the external attacks, about politicians. We didn't cover that part, but ragazzi, I can tell you that it's really disgusting. Max Allegri said, replying makes no sense. Let's show it on the field instead of speaking. Let's do instead of speaking, which I really love the message. Then I want to go towards the last one about the press conference. They asked about Mercato. Pogba, Fagioli, that will not be there, said it's absolutely not the moment to talk about Mercato, which I think now it makes totally sense. We are the 7th of December. On the 7th of January, the first round will stop, and then we can see. And then two topics that are remaining. The words of De Laurentiis. Again, I made a short about it. I don't change my opinion, but for the people that didn't watch the short, the first thing he said, would love to win every year the Scudetto, but you already win when you're a Napolitano, when you're from Napoli. What does he mean with that? I have absolutely no idea. He's already putting the hands up front to say we will not win the Scudetto this year. But if you're a Napolitano, if you have the folklore, if you love La Vita, then you're already a winner. Can be, I have no idea. But I'm a bit checking, like, you know, he's a bit prudent, he's a bit cautious, a bit that loser mentality, but he says whatever he wants. When he's speaking about his team, he can do whatever he wants. But on the other side, which I didn't appreciate when he said, you can't win every year except if you cheat. Who is the team that wins every year? Well, it was Juve with 9 times in a row, because Milan, they won 1 and they stopped. Inter, they won once and they stopped. Napoli will probably stop, listening to the words of De Laurentiis. So he's really pointing finger at Juve, attacking again that we are cheaters. Oh, ragazzi, basta. And especially not from a president to blow up the game of tomorrow. Because then you see, but it's Ossato, the referee, and we are not happy, and this is... No. A president should have a bit more class and being a bit more smarter, because otherwise tomorrow there is three red cards on the field. A penalty given, a penalty not given. What are we speaking about? Basta. Speaking about presidents, well, there was another president, and that's the very last one before closing the video without edits, but I hope with a lot of information, qualitative information. It's Khelaifi, that is the president of Paris Saint-Germain, but also the president of ECA. ECA, that is the European Club Association. Before that, it was Andrea Agnelli. Andrea Agnelli resigned together with, because he was a president, he resigned of that function because he was taking care of the Super League, you remember, with 11 other clubs. All the other clubs went out of the ECA project. 9 of them went back, not Juventus at the moment. This morning, or early afternoon, we heard the words of Nasser Al-Khelaifi that said, I spoke to Elkan, that is the owner of Juve, and I think Juventus won't back into the ECA. They would be welcome if they stop fighting for what they were trying to achieve with that stupid project. When you hear these kind of words, and we already know the recent history of the Super League, that Juventus in an open letter said, we are thinking about leaving the Super League, which they never said we leave the Super League project. They said we are thinking about, we are studying how to potentially leave the thing. Well, you are maybe thinking, okay, Juventus is going back to ECA, which can still be the case, or at least listening to Al-Khelaifi. But then you have the answer really fast to Reuters. Ragazzi, Reuters, that is a really important, super credible paper, an information source that are saying actually we communicate that the Reuters communicates that they received a denial from Juventus regarding the possibility of returning to ECA. And that's a big one. That's a big one. Why? Because you know what will happen on the 21st of December here in Brussels, in Belgium, where I live. Maybe I will go there. No, I'm not invited. But they will speak about a judgment, about non-competition, not loyal competition rule, about UEFA. You know, that the Super League project is really depending on that decision of the 21st of December. Being the 7th, I was like, did we give up? Do we know something already about that final judgment that will be given? Is it already something that we gave up on? I don't know. Let's see. Looks like Juventus immediately said, oh, we don't want to be back at the moment. Calma. Calma is maybe what De Laurentiis should do, but not what our players should do on the field tomorrow. We have to go. We have to win. You know, when they're saying we don't reply to the attacks, let's do on the field. let's do on the field. That's more smart. Well, that's what I want to do. We listen, we don't blah blah, we go and we act on the field. Grazie, forza, Juve. Ciao.